Welcome to Casa Academy, Chapter 2, Part 1, where we will cover real estate license law and qualifications for licensure. We're going to be looking at the whole life cycle of a Florida real estate license under Chapter 475 of the Florida statutes. People usually just call it FS 475. It's the absolute bedrock law for real estate licensees in Florida, so let's just jump right in. You're kicking off a huge professional journey here, laying down the foundation for everything you need to know about Florida's real estate regulations. Just a quick heads up before we really get going. Whenever we say the word licensee today, we're talking about someone who holds a real estate license under FS 475 and is officially authorized to perform real estate services in the state. All right, here is our roadmap for today. First, the purpose of license law. Second, when licensure is required. Third, getting your real estate license. Fourth, working as a licensee. Fifth, maintaining your active license. And finally, brokers and mutual recognition. Section 1, Purpose of License Law. So why do we even have all these super strict rules in the first place?
Well, it really boils down to one crucial thing. The law exists to protect the public and consumers, definitely not the licensees. It's not there to shield you from the public, it's there to shield the public from misconduct. And hey, here is a really great exam hack for you. If you're ever completely stuck on a scenario question, just flip your perspective. Look at the situation entirely from the consumer's point of view. If you keep consumer protection in mind, it's going to guide you straight to the right answer almost every single time.
Moving on to Section 2. When licensure is required. Let's figure out exactly when you legally have to have a license. So, when is a real estate license actually legally required? You're definitely going to see exam scenarios asking if someone's actions were lawful or if they were allowed to get paid. How do we actually test those scenarios to know for sure? It's actually pretty simple. Florida law uses this really effective four-part test. You just ask 4 questions about the person in the scenario. 1, did they perform a real estate service? 2, was it in Florida? 3, was it for another person? And 4, was it for compensation? If the answer to all 4 of those is yes, then no doubt about it, an active Florida real estate license is absolutely mandatory. Now, to easily remember the most common real estate services that trigger that requirement, we use this awesome mnemonic device, A-bar sale. That stands for appraising, buying, auctioning, renting, selling, advertising, leasing, and exchanging. Basically, if you're doing any of those things for someone else in Florida, and you're expecting to get paid for it, you are performing a real estate service. Seriously, burn A-bar sale into your memory right now. It is a total lifesaver. Section 3, Getting your real estate license. Let's talk qualifications. To become a sales associate in Florida, you've got to be at least 18 years old, have a high school diploma or a GED, possess a valid social security number, and be of good moral character. But I want to make something super clear here, because it trips up a lot of people. You absolutely need a social security number, yes, but you do not need to be a Florida resident, and you actually don't even need to be a U.S. citizen. Once you've got those basics down, it's time for the actual process. You'll need to submit your formal application, provide your fingerprints for a background check, complete your 63-hour pre-license course and pass its final exam, and then the big one, pass the Florida State exam. Both of those exams, just so you know, are exactly 100 multiple-choice questions. And here's how that state exam breaks down. It's about 45% law, 45% principles and practices, and only 10% math. I know, the word math makes a lot of people panic, but take a deep breath. It's really just basic real estate math that you are going to practice a ton in this course. It's just a tiny little slice of the exam. And the best part, calculators are totally allowed. You've completely got this. All right, Section 4, Working as a licensee. Here is a massive rule to remember. As a brand new sales associate, you cannot just go out and work independently. You have to be employed. And for the exam, remember this exact phrasing. All of your compensation must come directly from your registered employer, period. That employment relationship has to be officially tracked, of course. That happens through the DBPR, which is the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, or sometimes we just call it the department. Your employment must be registered with them. Also, before I forget, your verification code is 698744. Okay, so always keep in mind that your active status with the DBPR is what actually makes your ability to practice real estate official. So who can actually employ you? You basically have 2 options. Most commonly, you'll be employed by a licensed Florida real estate broker. Your other option is to work for an owner-developer. An owner-developer is an unlicensed property owner who registers with the DBPR just so they can hire licensees on a salary basis. Think of someone who buys a huge piece of land, chops it up into subdivisions, and hires you to sell those specific houses. The catch is that an owner-developer can only have you sell property that they personally own. Section 5. Maintaining your active license. You are really going to want to pay close attention to these deadlines. Your very first license renewal is going to pop up about 18 to 24 months after your initial license date. Before that exact deadline hits, you are legally required to complete 45 hours of post-license education. And guys, I really cannot stress this enough. Do not miss this deadline. If you fail to finish that 45-hour course before your license expires, your license becomes totally null and void. There's no late fee to fix it. You literally have to start the entire process over from scratch. New application, new 63-hour course, retaking the state exam, the whole shebang. So take it seriously. Once you survive that first renewal, it gets much easier. You just do 14 hours of continuing education every 2 years. Finally, Section 6, Brokers and Mutual Recognition. If you decide you want to level up to a Florida broker license, the requirements are pretty intense. You need at least 24 months of active experience as a sales associate within the last 5 years. Plus, you have to take a 72-hour broker pre-license course, pass the broker state exam, and then later do a 60-hour broker post-license course. But watch out, because there's a huge exam trap here. Those 24 months of experience, they must be under an actively licensed broker. If you got your experience working for an owner-developer, that doesn't count towards getting your broker license. No exceptions.
Now, what about folks moving here from other states? Well, Florida does expressly not offer full reciprocity. Having a license in another state never just automatically lets you practice in Florida. But they do offer something called mutual recognition agreements with a few specific states. If you're an out-of-state licensee and you qualify under one of those mutual recognition agreements, it basically gives you a shortcut. You get to bypass some of the standard Florida pre-licensing requirements to get an equivalent license right here. We've definitely covered a lot of ground today, from the 4-part test for licensure to making sure your license doesn't go null and void. So I want to leave you with this final thought. If consumer protection truly is the ultimate goal of Chapter 475, how will you apply that consumer point of view moving forward? Really try to internalize that, because thinking like that won't just help you ace your exams. It's going to safeguard your clients, protect the public, and set you up for a really long, successful career in real estate. Keep studying hard, and we'll see you in the next lesson.